Are you an INFP who feels like your dreams are just floating out of reach, like you can't fully grasp them and put them into reality? We're going to talk about 5 different aspects that are extremely important for INFPs. But when we think of authenticity and creativity and meaningful relationships, that encapsulates most of what is really important to us. And what if I told you that ignoring these could actually leave you feeling like you are empty, missing out on the joys of life, and that you have no ability to impact your life? Well, that is certainly not a good thing. So let's talk about how to use your personality type for self-fulfillment. INFPs are renowned for our unwavering integrity and our always seeking authenticity vibes. Like, we always just want to make sure that we are fully in alignment with our identity, what is truly important to us. Our dominant function, technically called introverted feeling, what I call the soul, as a character within your Council of 8, your questing party of the mind, your psyche's main core key characters, say that again, is introverted feeling, and it is about making decisions, evaluating what is important to us and how much we like or dislike something. And this drive for authenticity is not just a preference, it is a core piece of our personality type. And ignoring that leads to feeling depressed, feeling unmotivated, and feeling like we cannot live in this world. And I know that might sound like a really strong thought for you if you're not an INFP and you're watching this. Maybe your friend or partner is an INFP. But if you are an INFP, you've probably thought about those deep, dark, negative paths too. I certainly have. And a lot of that comes from misalignment with your authentic self. And you might just think, well, isn't everyone better off being true to themselves? Yes, I agree that they are. But it is more important for INFPs because it is our dominant function. It is not a mere comfort. It's survival. We need this. Any of my clients that I've talked to before we started, if they're feeling depressed or unmotivated, it's often because they are not in connection with their introverted feeling, with their soul. Maybe they somehow got the message along the road that it is not good to be a feeler, that emotions are bad, that it isn't helpful to feel strongly about things. And it's better to shut it off, log on to the commander, extroverted thinking, and say, what do I need to get this thing done? What's effective? What's actionable? And that is really good. But if it's coming at the expense of your core character trait, that's going to cause a lot of chaos and havoc. You've probably heard before to just suck it up, just do the job, get a 9 to 5, and put your head down. Stop feeling so passionately about these niche interests that we have. Doing that leads to dissatisfaction. You will not be happy. You will not be fulfilled if you do not pursue your passions. And we have plenty of passions. So you can pursue many of them, and unfortunately, some of them are not going to be able to be pursued. That's unfortunate. There's not much we can do about that in terms of time management, how much life we have to live. But if you are not finding something that is core, that is really important to you, and pursuing it, then you are going to be in a bad way. So when INFPs are true to ourselves, we are not just more productive, but we are happier and we are more fulfilled. So let's explore another example. Something really important to INFPs that keeps us going is creative expression. Creativity isn't just a hobby for INFPs, it's a lifeline. We need to be creative. So first, we talked about introverted feeling, the soul, how it's really important for us to understand who we are and our identity, make sense of, who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose in the world? But then we also need creativity to express that. Introverted feeling is introverted. It's inward. It's self-contained. It's like this little dragon egg you're just holding in your hand, right? creativity helps you express that. It lets it out of the shell. It finds a way to communicate all of these strongly held emotions and values and beliefs that are within us. And you might say that, well, okay, all right, creativity is important. I get that. But isn't it just escape? Isn't it just pursuing some fun little fantastical idea? No. INFPs need to be creative. We need some sort of expression of our feelings. Usually that comes through a metaphor, but it's not always. It could be any form, art, story writing, dance, YouTube videos, all sorts of different possibilities for finding ways of creative expression. The important thing is that we do it. And this also is a really good form of problem solving. Extroverted intuiting, the explorer, our auxiliary function, is about explosive idea generation and connecting the dots and saying this thing and this thing, putting them together, seeing what emerges from there. That is one really helpful way of problem solving. If you can play with ideas and you can get more perspectives, more ideas, different angles, different ways of looking at things, laterally jumping to different areas and saying, well, in health, okay, I do this one thing and it's really good for me. Well, how could I apply that to my current issue with my job, for example? Going back and forth between those different dimensions is a really powerful way of problem solving. Usually it's tied to peopling as well. And it could be us, as in we are peopling with ourselves, or it could be within helping somebody else, which we'll talk about later. The worst thing that you can do is not have a creative outlet and continue to bottle up those emotions, those feelings, perhaps anger if you're an Enneagram 9, and not finding some way of letting that out. So remember to focus on authenticity and creative expression of who you are, of what is important to you. And when we consider how to do that, we need to bring in also meaningful relationships. We don't focus on a breadth of social interactions. We focus on one or two individuals. Those relationships have to resonate with our soul. It has to be really important to us. If we don't have those relationships in our lives, we feel that we can't continue. We feel, again, that our purpose is not being fulfilled in some way, that we are disconnected. And we can feel disconnected. We can feel alone in any amount of people. In a big crowd of people, we'll still feel alone if we don't have this meaningful connection. And these relationships need to be built on three things: deep understanding, acceptance, and mutual respect. If you do not have those, your relationship will not be fulfilling, and you will probably find a way to go somewhere else, to look for another relationship, or you'll just continue to feel miserable within that relationship, and that is not a good thing either. And I've often heard people saying that it's an unrealistic expectation. INFPs are too idealistic. And yes, we are very idealistic. But I don't think that it's unfair in any way to seek meaningful relationships with a few people. Everybody has their gifts that they can share with other people. It's really hard to find those. So make sure that you are putting yourself into places that allow you to create those relationships. If you have not found them, from my experience, it's that I was not in the right places. If I want to find somebody who is like me, likely going to a big, wild reggae event at a stadium is not going to align with that. You might want to go to a cafe. You might want to go to a cat cafe, read some books, if that's what I'm into, if that's what I'm looking for. And finding these relationships and these connections reinforces what is important to you, and it creates this solid foundation for personal and career and business and relationship growth. So having a meaningful relationship with somebody, even if it's just one person, is going to help you feel more fulfilled and propel you forward in your pursuits. whatever that may be, it's going to give you the backing or the support to help you continue along when things get difficult. And they will get difficult because that's how life works. That's the hero's journey. Things always get more difficult before they get easier. So let's move on to point 4, which is nature. It's not just the aesthetic visual appeal of nature. When I go out into the forest, or when I remember going out into the forest when I lived in Michigan, when I'm now living in Tokyo and there isn't much forest, it wasn't like I was physically immersed. Now, some of it was. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and I loved the smell and trying to notice the textures of the leaves. But really, it was more of like just allowing myself to be in the aura, in the vicinity of nature. Something that is natural is really appealing to myself and to other INFPs. It has this like carefree existence to it, where perfectionism is not a thing, where it's okay to be as you are. And so beautiful scenery is nice, but many people would wonder, like, is it really helpful to productivity and finding your purpose? For INFPs, yes, it is, because that tranquility of nature also gives you a break from the chaos in the outer world. It lets you go inward, lets you tap into yourself, have conversations with the different parts of yourself, and to fuel creativity as well. You can tap into your introverted intuiting, which is our 6th function, and get these insights, the shower thoughts that just pop out, right? Hopefully you're not showering within the forest. Maybe you are, maybe that's your thing. If so, that's you, that's cool. But it allows you to be somewhere and just let those insights pop up. But also in an extroverted intuiting round. So instead of the mystic introverted intuiting, extroverted intuiting is the explorer, right? So it's connecting dots, right? It's springboarding, jumping off different things. When I see a tree, that could remind me to think of the structure of, I'm thinking of a coaching model right now, and there are different levels of development because I just thought of a tree. Okay, those kind of connections can happen because of that first initial springboard in the sensory realm. So spending time in nature is not just a nice to have, it is something that INFPs thrive off of. Being able to distance ourselves from the chaos of the urban world, if that's where you live, and go into nature and just allow things to be as they are, breathe some fresh air, relax for a bit. That helps you improve your path in life by allowing you to be more creative and by rejuvenating. So last, we need to talk about advocacy for causes that are important for INFPs. INFPs are not only dreamers, as many memes would let us believe. We are doers, but we need to be convicted around it. It has to be really important to us. It has to be a cause that we stand by or that we put in front of us, we stand behind. Depending, if you're thinking about it of like a metaphor, okay? This is an important exercise that you should do. I'm just trying to think of which items I can use here. Okay, I have a remote. This is my cause. I am here. I'll just use me. I was going to use an item to be me, but I'll be me. I can stand behind my cause. I can put it in front of me. I can back it up. I can support it. I can support my cause. I can hold it up. Over here, I'm right for the cause. I'm right, this is left. Okay? It's something that's left for me to do. Maybe I'm the only one that can do it. If I put it over here, it's right for me. And if something is right for you, you'll likely pursue it, right? It's right in front of me, left in front of me, right behind me. Something I put behind me, but also something I'm standing in front of. Something that I am guiding, perhaps, that I'm pulling along. If it was here, I'm pushing it, perhaps. Or I could stand on top of it. It's something that supports me, something that gives me stability. I can't show you me standing on it. It could be something inside you, something that you've grown up around, perhaps. Something that is held deep within you. that others can't see. Think about it. Welcome back. So whether it's an environmental cause, a social cause, political cause, these are all really important for INFPs because we need to feel convicted around doing something that is going to make an impact in the world. Every once in a while, when I say that, an INFP will say, well, I don't really care about the rest of the world. I hear that one a lot. And I just want to make sure that I'm okay because the world has betrayed me. The world sucks. I used to think like that. I don't anymore. And part of the reason for that is because I have asserted myself more into the world. I have shown up more. I have produced things. I have done creativity. I have created. I have aligned myself with my personality and said that this is something that's important to me. And I'm going to do it every day. And I'm going to work on getting better at it. When you have that, or when you are doing that, you then create it for you and it becomes part of your lifestyle. And it becomes aligned with your identity, what is authentic to you. And then you will do it more and more. You will show up. You will wake up early in the morning excited to work on your project. And this alignment is not just for fun. This, again, is going to give you motivation. It's going to keep you going as an INFP. If you don't have that because you are not doing it, right? You're going to generate it by doing it. A lot of us INFPs think that if we just think about it, if we feel through it, we'll know when it's here. We'll know when it's right for us. And that could happen, but I guarantee you're going to find it faster if you do more things and then you course correct, you calibrate from there. So these have been 5 things that are core to the INFP personality type that if you don't have, you could be missing out again on fulfillment, on joy, on living a life that is meaningful to you. If you want more support in developing your INFP personality type into a force to be reckoned with so that you can wake up fulfilled, you can wake up happy, look yourself in the mirror and say, I love myself, so that you can actually start to appreciate and love your personality type, then go to infp.geekpsychology.com, get the INFP Masterclass, and learn about the core characters within your psyche and how to get them to work together so that you are in alignment, so that you can be more creative, so that you can clear up some of the issues or trauma or problems from the past, and that you can set goals that will help you achieve the life that you want to live. I hope to see you there because part of my goal, the cause that I am an advocate for, is to get more INFPs to lean into self-development through personality type and create the things that INFPs can create within the world and stop holding ourselves back, stop the self-sabotage, the perfectionism, the lack of motivation. Really get out there and make those changes that the world needs. Because the world is struggling right now, and if we don't step up, I'm afraid it's going to keep going in the same direction that it is, and that is not a place that I want my children to grow up in. So I hope to see you there. Good luck, have fun.